Help support Friendo Club by going to patreon.com/Steven Larson or clicking join at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Access to bonus episodes, question threads for the Going In Raw podcast, and entry to our monthly wrestling predictions challenges. Join the Friendo Club today. Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we're going to be answering your questions, but more importantly than your questions, we've got a SmackDown preview. More importantly than that, though, we've got a bunch of news as well, including an update on Kenny Omega's health. Seth Rollins, another update on his injury, which could indicate that things aren't great there. But first, we're going to talk about the thing that everybody's been talking about. The Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, leaving New Japan Professional Wrestling. Where will he go, Larson? That's the question on everybody's mind. Of course, we're coming up to Royal Rumble / WrestleMania season.
Yeah.
So is he going to go to WWE? He's got a relationship already with AEW. Will he go there? What's the latest?
So some absolutely huge news dropped last night. I was making dinner. I was like, all right, this pasta here is boiling. My sauce is done. I'm going to check the Twitters to see if there's any news. And sure enough, wow. Yeah. Very rarely do I check in wrestling news that my jaw drops. My jaw dropped in this instance.
How recent was the news? I remember seeing Triple H's tweet about Bray Wyatt. Like, I think it was 44 seconds after he dropped it.
Oh, it was within minutes. It was within minutes.
Yeah.
So, New Japan Pro Wrestling announced that Kazuchika Okada was leaving the promotion at the conclusion of his contract on January 31st of this year, 2024. New Japan's press release about Okada's departure, the Rainmaker, had a statement. Stated the following, quote, "I have nothing but gratitude for having been a part of New Japan Pro Wrestling since 2007.
Wow.
For New Japan bringing me from a 19-year-old kid off the plane in Mexico to the Rainmaker I am today. Thank you to the best of the companies in New Japan Pro Wrestling, to the best of opponents that I've been able to face here, to the best of the fans that have cheered and booed over the years. I promise to make it rain in every match I have left, so keep watching." So, of course, Okada was announced for a good amount of the New Beginning shows that are kicking off here soon. And New Japan announced some changes to those shows since Okada's heading out. So first, Okada's going to defend the Never six-man openweight titles on January 24th. It will be his last match at Kurikan Hall. He'll be defending, I believe it's him and, who's the other member? Is it Tanahashi?
Tanahashi and Ishii.
That's right. Tanahashi, Ishii, and Okada defending against TMDK, Mighty Don't Kneel. And then Okada will fulfill his announced dates on February 11th, where he's going to be facing longtime rival Hiroshi Tanahashi. That New Beginning in Osaka show is pretty loaded. It's got that match. It's got Danielson and Sabre 2.
Oh, wow.
And, it's the United Empire. It's Ospreay's last match in New Japan.
Should we do, not a watch-along, but should we do a review on that show? We'll do a recap
February
on
11th.
That sounds cool.
And then his last matches in New Japan will be on February 23rd and 24th. So, shortly after New Japan's announcement, Dave Meltzer tweeted, quote, "Okada gave his notice on a Thursday night, not renewing his contract." And Fightful Select subsequently added that New Japan sources indicated to them that Okada and New Japan management were set to meet, or at that point had met, to discuss the Rainmaker's future in the company. By the end of that meeting, quote, "it was clear that Okada was set to finish up." So in today's most recent newsletter, Dave Meltzer said the following, "Of course, the big question is, where is Okada going? Both WWE and AEW made pitches for him. One person close to Okada said nothing has started yet, but it seems both are going to fight for him hard. It was believed that AEW has made the strongest first offer, but no contract has been signed at press time. As noted months ago, WWE was of the belief they had a strong shot at getting him, with the idea they could convince him he had done all he could do in Japan because the economic differences in wrestling, because sports rights fees just aren't close to the same level in Japan. The American scene is far more lucrative." Dave continues, "Signing with AEW would allow Okada to return to New Japan for major shows. While it would be more difficult with WWE, with the new management of WWE, if such a thing were to stand in the way of the deal, I'd be pretty sure WWE would allow him to do so as well. From talking with those in AEW, they range from being very confident to feeling it still could go either way. At WWE, only a few people have a read on it, but it's not like Trinity Fatu or Jade Cargill, where active creative was being worked on their returns and plans." And they mentions, although obviously with Cargill, all the plans changed.
Yeah.
So, and then Justin Barrasso, right before we started here, has more writing, quote, as of this moment, AEW is the favorite to land Okada. He has a pre-existing relationship with AEW owner Tony Khan, and his visit to Dynamite this past October 25th was, for all intents and purposes, an opportunity to see how the company operated at a live television taping. Okada has struck up a friendship with on-screen rival Bryan Danielson, who has gained his trust, and he remains close with AEW EVPs Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. He continues, there is also significant interest from WWE, especially from Paul Triple H Levesque and Shawn Michaels. Sports Illustrated has confirmed. While it's difficult to procure information from Okada's camp, multiple sources close to New Japan revealed he has always wanted to perform at a WrestleMania. Levesque is aware of this, and he has the right opponents, specifically AJ Styles and Finn Balor, who have pre-existing relationships with Okada and would both be perfect for Okada's debut if he were to wrestle at WrestleMania 40.
Hard to say. I mean, obviously, you can say probably you think AEW has the edge because of the pre-existing relationship.
You would think so.
A lot of good points being made on both sides. Only the Rainmaker himself will know what this is going to boil down to. It's been fun seeing fans debate, where they would like him to go. On social media. I know I'm probably pretty predictable with where I'd like to see him go.
E-drone.
Steve Drone. So yeah, man, there's also all we can really say is this is going to be damn interesting to see how this plays out. It really will be, It
really will be. It's a massive bummer for New Japan to lose their top star still in his prime. I don't know if there's any sort of precedent for this, that New Japan's top guy. I know Naito's champion. Okada's been the top guy in New Japan for most of the last decade.
The resurgence of New Japan opening up to a much broader audience here on this side of planet Earth. Since then, you're right. Like, there's been certain names bandied about as possibilities, like Naito, but certainly since Shinsuke Nakamura, which was sort of a couple years before they really started. Yeah. I did not know who Shinsuke Nakamura was prior to him coming to NXT. As soon as it was like, oh wow, Nakamura's coming, I'm like, okay, cool. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
And I saw how awesome he was. I had heard AJ Styles reference Okada on the Stone Cold podcast, but that was kind of the extent of it. But once 2017 hit with Wrestle Kingdom, it absolutely exploded.
Yeah.
And he's been the guy, the John Cena, the Roman Reigns, the Stone Cold, the Hulk Hogan.
It's like if Roman Reigns said, I'm not redoing my deal, I'm going somewhere else. That's what we're talking about here in terms of the magnitude of Okada's departure from New Japan. So it obviously leaves New Japan in a really tough spot. They don't have anybody probably who could step up immediately and take that spot. I mean, Naito's champion. He's super popular. But he's also 41 years old with bad knees. It's going to take some work to build up somebody who's still relatively young. I think Okada's in his mid-30s. Who can be the face of the company going forward.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know. In terms of, I think, in terms of being face of the company, that's clearly it's Naito. And I think there's been maybe some debate in the past about, you can look at the reactions both men get and try to figure out, okay, Naito might actually be more popular than
he might be more popular, but he hasn't historically been booked as strong as Okada, as the guy.
You're right about that. But in terms of metrics that actually matter, which I honestly don't even know what they would be. We often, obviously we look at, just for example, the other day when, ratings were released for Dynamite, and it's clear over the past couple of weeks that Samoa Joe is champion. That's a bright spot for one metric that, can be looked at: ratings, television ratings. Who starts watching when somebody's on? I don't know. Obviously you can look at what is the draw to bring in fans in New Japan. They have got a stacked, loaded roster with people, and their youth movement is real. Are they, a couple of years away from maybe figuring out who the next Okada really is going to be, Tsuji or whomever. Probably.
Yeah.
And there doesn't seem, that interesting sort of middle ground, the Jay White, the Will Ospreay, they're gone. Yeah. and so like a chunk of that middle, they thought maybe it could have been Sonata. It doesn't look like it's going to be Sonata as that guy.
And to think New Japan within the last 12 to 14 months is going to lose Jay White, Will Ospreay, and Okada.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a lot of high-level talent.
It is.
Not to say there's not other high-level talent in New Japan. There's a lot of really good wrestlers there. Amazing wrestlers. Some of the best in the world.
A lot of them are super young, though.
Yes.
Yeah. Starting out.
As for the most part, New Japan, when they have a young lion return from excursion, they typically really take their time building them up.
Yeah.
It's very rarely we have someone like Okada who returns from Impact and is instantly kind of more or less put in the main event. Same with Jay White. It doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah.
But you got to think now, okay, are they going to start accelerating that process with someone like Tsuji, someone like Shota, to start build them up to be main eventers so then in 2 or 3 years' time, they could be headlining Tokyo Dome.
It seems like they kind of tried with Evil and realized fairly quickly that wasn't going to work. No. They tried with Sonata, and I kind of feel like the jury might still be out on Sonata. Some of that stuff they did at the end of Wrestle Kingdom was really interesting.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
And it wouldn't shock me to see the crowd invest into him heavily to make him that next Okada guy. He'd have to find a different gear because I don't think the gear that he was on was working. But a lot of the stuff that I've seen just at Wrestle Kingdom alone, I was like, maybe he can, if he finds that other gear, it's going to be to the moon. I think that's a possibility, but they got to find it.
Here's the thing with Sonata is that it's there in glimpses.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
you see it like this match against Naito. Apart from that little section where there was a spot that was missed, they got back to what they were planning on doing really well.
Yeah,
that match was really, really good. Sonata can put on really, really good matches.
Yeah,
and he has forged a relationship with the crowd in the past. Now, can he get that back?
Yeah, right.
Which seemingly is going to be his story going forward, if Wrestle Kingdom's any indication.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
do you think it's a possibility? Do you think it's a thing? And this might end up being par for the course for most most large wrestling companies. Honestly, we're talking about 3. We're talking about AEW, WWE, and New Japan. Yeah. Where it's the strength of the conglomerated roster that is the draw, and business is good with that, as opposed to, it's like, look, obviously Roman Reigns is a big deal, but it's a strong roster that they got over there. It's a strong roster, and Roman can be gone for a long time, and you still have Cody, Drew, Seth, Punk, Rhea, Bianca. The women's division is loaded. Yeah. They've got, the brand is really strong.
Yes.
And I wonder if they're going to have to rely on, or even choose to rely on, given that finding an Okada might not be the easiest thing in the world to do.
I mean, Okada's a generational talent.
He really is. Yeah, he really is.
So I and to an extent, I think it would be probably not the best idea for New Japan to actively say we need to find the next Okada.
Yeah.
Just find wrestlers who are really good storytellers.
Yeah.
Who have a connection with the crowd and see where that goes.
It's going to be interesting.
We need another Rainmaker. Then there's not a whole lot of Rainmakers in the world. There's not a whole lot of Okadas in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. But they have some terrific wrestlers that I think have an opportunity, especially Yota Tsuji. That dude's face alone, I could put that on
probably
anything.
Tsuji and Shota probably have a leg up on maybe getting first crack at start moving up the card from as far as guys who've returned relatively recently from excursion.
Because I think as long as New Japan, they just got to keep and Gabe Kidd has had some really outstanding sort of character moments. I don't know about Finley, but I'm just looking at the Bullet Club, the foreigner aspect of things. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'd like to think that they're pretty strong though. They got a pretty loaded roster.
They do.
They've lost a lot. I wonder if Ospreay could have been like their dude.
Yeah.
Going forward. But the thing is, he had been in New Japan for a long time. And when you're in a place for 5 years or more, with the other opportunities out there, that's enticing. Now, when it comes to Kazuchika Okada, you got to figure that another thing that AEW has going for it, as you've noted in the past, is the idea that he can be probably home in Japan more often than he could be with WWE, which would help, especially given that his wife apparently was trending more than he was, because when this news broke, her fans in Japan, because apparently she's a popular something, she's like a super famous person in Japan, and her fans started getting worried that she would be leaving Japan because of Rainmaker. And so that might be, even from a business standpoint, more advantageous for him to do that. But again, younger, and I'll say younger because he's in his mid-30s, 10 years younger than we are.
Yeah.
Younger career people understand that if you want to maximize your earnings, sometimes you have to make compromises, and that's jet setting all over the place, on a regular basis. And it's not like he's going to settle down in a condo in Orlando. He's the Rainmaker. He's going to get paid whoever he goes to. He's going to get paid a shit ton of money.
Yep.
And that's just how that's how a certain career person lives their life. They're out there. They tour. They go out places. They do stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what he chooses. I'd love to see him at WrestleMania, man. I'll be honest with you.
So if he's booked through the end of February, more or less. So the 24th is the same day as Elimination Chamber. That's his last date in New Japan. So he's not going to be there. Some sort of, if WWE is the destination, then maybe something along the lines of what they did with Seth and Cody when Cody came. Set up with a mystery challenger for whether it's AJ or Finn or Nakamura. And have it be Okada. Or if it's Okada, he can make his debut at Revolution. His official AEW, hey, I'm signed here now. Debut at Revolution. Apparently Ospreay's going to be 100% into AEW by then as well. I mean, it seems like Revolution has potential to be a pretty loaded card.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And then you throw Okada into the mix.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, though, at what point is New Japan going to be like, all right, we have this partnership with AEW, and they send some talent to us, which is cool, and we have this joint show, which is cool, but they keep signing all our top guys. Like, at a certain point, they'd be like, hey.
I mean, dude, no, I don't think any. What can you do? Okay, so this harkens back to, if they had the same relationship with WWE, same thing would happen.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just at a certain point, dude, Yota Tsuji in 10 years is probably going to go to AEW or WWE. It's like, you build. Okada's been there forever. He's been there for a very long time. He's going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you rather have a relationship with the company where it's friendly? And New Japan would probably rather have AEW, their guys go to AEW when they're, when they want to leave.
Yeah, because the door's open for them to come back. Totally.
They can still use them.
I get that.
Yeah, I don't know what you do in that. That's just the market. That's just the free market. People are free to go where they want when they're not under contract. You got to make sure that you have the best. You've got the best. Now, if they want to be more like WWE and limit their people working with AEW, like the Forbidden Door, to try to keep them so that they don't establish relationships on their dollar that will later enable them and entice them, I should say, to leave to those other greener pastures. That's something to consider. I mean, but at that point, they just got to close. They got to close the doors completely. They got to build up walls, right? Because even if they're like, hey, you sent us Jack Perry and we've given you all of our main eventers. We're going to go work with WWE because at least then we're on Peacock and we get to have some WrestleMania moments.
Yeah. It is a larger platform for the company than AEW. Without doubt.
Yeah. Maybe we can get a Seth Rollins at Tokyo Dome as opposed to, they had Bryan Danielson at Tokyo Dome. That was pretty awesome.
John Moxley too.
And they had Mox too there. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if I'm New Japan, you just got to be, I guess, Grateful that you had what you had while you had it, right?
I guess so.
What can you do about Jay White leaving? What can you do about Ospreay leaving?
No, I mean, like the financial situation here in the States when it comes to pro wrestling, it's wrestlers are going to get paid a crap ton of money this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like astronomical downside guarantees. And which is great for wrestling, great for wrestlers. I'm not going to ever quibble with wrestlers getting paid. They put their bodies on the line for us. They should get paid as much as they possibly can. Especially considering the percentage of money going to wrestler salaries versus what WWE makes is so small compared to other major sports.
Oh yeah.
Anything that gives wrestlers leverage in terms of making more money, I'm all for it.
Yeah, no, 1,000%, absolutely.
And it's the situation here in the U.S. with, as Meltzer mentions, with media rights fees being huge, is this going to lead to wrestlers making more money? But it's going to have an effect on places like New Japan, where the rights fees aren't as large. They can't pay the wrestlers, I would think, quite the same sums that WWE and maybe AEW could.
That would seem to be the case, yeah.
And so we're going to be in situations like this, where top stars in New Japan, who have basically done just about everything they can do over there. It's like, all right, I imagine for Okada, this is a situation where it's like, okay, this is my opportunity to solidify my family's financial position for life. With this contract. I'm sure he made a lot of money in New Japan, but if he could double that going elsewhere and really set up his family for the remainder of their lives, you can't fault the guy for making that decision.
I mean, I wonder if it goes beyond that, because he knows he's going to make money regardless.
Yeah.
But I wonder if I'm trying to temper my enthusiasm for this idea, but Rainmaker going to WWE, the global platform that WWE has, is larger than AEW's.
Absolutely.
Is that enticing not just to him, but when he talks to his family about this? I don't know his wife. I'm going to look it up real quick. Is she an actress? She might probably.
I mean, that's a good point. Like if it's a situation where it's not only a larger platform for him, but also his wife potentially.
Yeah,
that's huge. That's huge for both of them.
Suzuko Momori. So she's an actress and singer. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it might open up doors for her as well, career-wise. So,
yeah, understanding completely that she's like an icon in Japan.
yeah.
But a couple of mid-40-year-old guys don't know who she is. She probably has like billions of followers.
Oh, I know, massive star, massive star.
I have to look her up on fucking
a massive star that outpaces Okada's popularity like several
tenfold.
I know.
We're know. Where's pro wrestler's wife gonna want to go? Oh God.
So yeah, I mean, well, again, that's one of these last 2 years. In terms of wrestling news, have been absolutely nuts. Imagine 2024 with all the people's contracts running out, and we're going to see a lot of talent changing companies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be crazy. Crazy, I tell you.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like she's got... All right. I'm not even going to start fumbling around friggin'... Let's see what's on YouTube. Because it looks like she has 125,000 followers on Instagram, but who knows? It might be like a fan account. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyways, let's talk Seth Rollins. So, we still don't know much about this apparent leg injury he suffered on Raw during his main event match against Jinder Mahal this past Monday. PW Insider reports, though, that Rollins is no longer advertised for this weekend's WWE live events, and in the newsletter, Meltzer notes that Rollins has seemingly been pulled from next Monday's Raw as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think him getting pulled from dates is necessarily an indication that he's dealing with severe injury. There's something that requires him to not wrestle for a little bit.
There's something there.
There's an injury.
It's not that there's nothing there. Yeah. That's a bummer.
So, the hope is nothing significant. I don't think he was probably planned for anything at the Rumble. They weren't necessarily setting up actively a match for him at Rumble. So, hopefully, situation. Couple weeks off, rest, rehab, and he'll be, back on the road healthy. It's the most important thing.
Yeah.
In short order, and it's not anything severe. I mean, I guess if it was something severe, and he was going to be on Raw potentially to vacate title, they might still advertise him for it. But
well, also, you would think, dude, if it was severe, yeah, they would probably that would get out. That would probably get out, or WWE would have like they would say something. They said something almost immediate when Charlotte was going to be out for 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I know she wasn't champion, and this is a different situation possibly, but I get the feeling that it's probably like maybe more of a wait and see thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be a situation like the injury he suffered a few years back, leading up to Mania 33, where it was kind of a gray area whether surgery was going to be required or if he could just rehab it and rest it and still be good for Mania, which ended up being the case.
Yeah.
Until there's more info, it's hard to speculate on what level of involvement he's going to have going forward.
I mean, this, they didn't advertise, they didn't announce that he's in a match this Monday, which there's a big difference there, being pulled from dates and that. She does have 1.1 million followers on Twitter. So that is pretty significant there.
That's a pretty huge number, yeah.
It's a pretty big number. It's like
how many followers does Okada have on Twitter?
Oh man, let's see, what does Rainmaker have? Rainmaker Okada. Hey, he's no slouch. He's got 351,000.
Yeah, about 352,000.
There you go. Good. It's a little bit more down to earth, but yeah. Oh man. So anyways, before we keep going with the show, want to point this out really quick. We've got this thing here going in Raw. It's a great way to help support the show. It's called the Friendo Club Setup. It's our little, remember like back in the day, like in the comic books or whatever, you'd have like membership clubs or fan clubs.
Yeah, fan club.
You get like a little Dakota ring or some shit like that.
A
badge. Yeah, exactly. You got a badge. Were you a member? Were you part of a membership club? I know when you were a teenager, it was a Pearl Jam fan club.
Yeah, I was a member of the Pearl Jam fan club. You get your Christmas 7-inch single every year.
That's pretty. That's kind of awesome. Yeah.
And then you'd get I think at times when they weren't doing the Ticketmaster thing, you'd get like first dibs at getting tickets.
Oh yeah.
That was the same thing with Radioheads that you get. Like you have to stay up all night for when they'd send the link out and you can go buy advanced tickets for their shows.
All right, sleep deprivation. That's how Tom York does it. Anyways, we've got our own Friendo Club setup over here. We've heard in the past Roman Reigns in an interview talk about the Tribal Chief setup, but that's only for one guy. It's for Roman Reigns, and he clarified it's definitely not for Seth Rollins. But good news, Seth. While you're at home nursing your leg, you can hop on patreon.com/Steven Larson or right here youtube.com/Steven Larson. If you click join on the YouTube or if you sign up for $5 and more over at the Patreon, you get access to the Friendo Club setup. We've got a whole library of bonus episodes that you can check out right now, plus weekly bonus episodes that we drop every single Friday. Today, later on, we're going to do Friendo Cast episode 3, where we don't talk about wrestling at all.
No wrestling talk. None.
No wrestling talk. It's just Steven Larson shooting the shit, a couple of old dudes talking shit. And you get access to bonus episodes, get access to the question threads, which we're going to read here in a little bit from the Friendos. And then you also get access to the Big Blue Predictions Challenge, which we got coming up at the Royal Rumble. It's our big Rumble Predictions Challenge. And you could be the next Big Blue Predictions champion if you sign up right now. Click join or go to patreon.com/Steven Larson. Also, we're trying to hit a subscriber number on YouTube. We're trying to hit 199,991 subs. It's a palindrome. They're fun. And we need your help to do it. We need you guys to hit that subscribe button.
Right now we're 649 away.
649. All right. Did we lose some?
No, because we were at 656 yesterday, so we've gained ground.
Oh, look at that. Okay. On the road. Let's try to hit it by like the Rumble, man. I'm going to be pushing that till the Rumble. Or maybe even till WrestleMania. Maybe that's more realistic. Maybe WrestleMania is more realistic.
Yeah, I think Mania is doable.
Big celebratory WrestleMania for us. Finish our story finally, Larson. Wouldn't that be great?
Yes, finish our story.
Yeah. Also hit that like button. It makes us feel good. And there you go. There's all the stuff. Also go to friendoshop.com. We got merch there. We got some new merch coming up. I'm waiting for a new merch package to come in. It's supposed to be here today. I got one of the shirts, but they came separately. I got like a new hoodie and like a couple new hats. So yeah, we're gonna drop those at the Rumble too with the new promo code. But in the meantime, Friendo 2024 still promo code that works over at friendoshop.com. Go check out our wares.
Yes, please. We got one more news story here before we get to Friendo questions about Kenny Omega.
Oh yeah,
of course he was
cleanser.
He had to step away from wrestling, dealing with diverticulitis.
Yowza.
And in the newsletter, Meltzer has an update on Kenny's condition, saying, quote, due to the inflammation being so bad, he couldn't have surgery at the time. And as of last week, he still hadn't had it. The decision will be made in about 7 weeks based on his healing on whether he'll need surgery or not. But if he does, that would put him out of action significantly longer. There is no timetable on when he will return at this point.
You know, man, just take as much time as you need.
Exactly.
Just need to take as much time. You've given your body to us fans in pro wrestling for our entertainment. And man, he seems like a pretty decent dude as well. So as much time as the cleaner needs, I'm cool with, man.
Exactly. I'm trying to see how long Brock was out when he had
diverticulitis
during his
Didn't
UFC.
he fight a whole ass UFC match with diverticulitis?
I think so.
Jesus Christ. That's nuts. That's crazy. Anyways, while you look up that, I'm going to look up some questions here.
He was sidelined here, according to Wikipedia, with diverticulitis in 2009, then came back in 2010.
Didn't Shane McMahon have it?
Yeah, he was on vacation, apparently, and had to be, like, airlifted out.
What a shitty vacation that must have been.
Yeah, I know.
Man, I wonder if it's shittier that or blowing out both his quads at WrestleMania. Doing a leapfrog. God, that looked like it hurt so bad. He tried to get, it's always when they try to get up and they collapse, and it's like, oh, God, no, I can't do that.
So
like
apparently, Brock had surgery November of 2009 and came back July of 2010.
Oh, wow, okay. That was pretty soon.
So what's that? 8 months? 8 months?
8 months.
7, 8
All
months.
things considered, that's...
Seems pretty quick.
That dude's a monster, though. My goodness gracious. He's crazy. Anyways, let's go ahead and answer some questions, dude.
Let's do it.
Where are my... Oh, here we go. I got a bunch here on the YouTube. Eastside Review says, assuming Okada goes to AEW, what do you do with him to prevent him getting lost in the shuffle? Also, what does this mean for New Japan losing in a year Okada, Ospreay, Jay White, and Kota Ibushi? We sort of talked about that last part there.
Yeah.
Man, that's my main concern about him going to AEW. I'm not worried at all about him going to WWE. I think that they would. You know, I saw a post today. Somebody pointed out Akira Tozawa. Like Akira Tozawa, one of the best professional wrestlers in Dragon Gate, and look what they got him doing now. You know, it was the nasty with Alpha Academy.
Yeah,
I get that. I understand.
Yeah,
but you can't tell me that Shinsuke Nakamura was not being built up to be a world beater by Triple H.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that. You look at his run in NXT. He was trying to build him up to be the guy to beat Brock.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was trying to do, and I think he damn well would have done it if it wasn't for Vince McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no doubt that Triple H would take one look at Kazuchika Okada and amp his presentation even further up. Multiple dinosaurs in the entrance.
Yeah.
More huge swords.
Yep.
You know, like probably like his coat is like one of those computer renders.
Oh, I know. It's going to be like you think Okada's pushing fabric technology in New Japan.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That glow material they got in 2K20. Hey, by the way, 2K23 bringing back... we talked
24.
about that yesterday a little bit. Yeah,
24,
24, yeah. Yeah, oh, that's going to be fun. Anyways, getting back to Okada. AEW, they can't... I just get the feeling that they'll be like, what worked in New Japan will work here. Just put the robe back on him. He'll be wrestling in front of 1,500 people. I don't know. It breaks my heart to think that. But I kind of feel like they're not good at big production. They're really good at the Hangman types or at the Swerve types or at the Samoa Joe types. Grounded characters, earthy characters who like, you don't need, nobody looks larger than life there, in my opinion.
I know.
House of Black, maybe, right?
But I mean, all they do is wrestle trios for the most part.
I know, there are trios, yeah.
No, you're right. And another thing AEW, amongst issues they have, is making stories feel. Oh, what's the best way to put this? Making the stories feel kind of large, impactful. Like you said before, that everything just kind of feels like a mid-card feud on AEW. It doesn't feel like the Bloodline, especially when Sammy was involved. That story was high drama. It felt like you were watching like prestige television. It felt like it was transcending pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Based on the story and they were telling and how they were telling it. Everything on AEW just kind of feels like, all right, this is pro wrestling story.
Yeah.
With maybe the exception of the Hangman Kenny stuff, but that was played so subtly, a lot of it, that it still felt very pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And if that's what they want to do, then hey, that's their philosophy, and so be it. But if they really want to, I feel like, reach out and try to capture new fans, they got to find a way to tell stories that feel larger than pro wrestling while still doing what they do really well, which is tell stories in the pro wrestling ring. And maybe they haven't found a way to do that yet.
Unless they grunge up their presentation, they're just going to be sort of stuck where they are, because it just doesn't. It's not a cool looking show. WWE is a very slick corporate looking show, but they also present characters who just seem so much bigger. Their aura, their presence. People always say that. Like, oh my God, look at Jade. Immediately when she comes over there, she looks like a star, like a bigger star.
Yeah.
And that's across the board. I remember when back in '99 when Jericho showed up, which was at the height of them sort of being grungy, still somehow, some way, they filmed him like a major deal, and some of it was killer theme song, interrupted the Rock, the countdown, and his attire. He wore that cool, glittery shirt.
Yeah.
They spotlighted him. And if you remember when Okada, they had to hey, we need somebody because a bunch of people are injured before the first Forbidden Door. Let's bring him out here. He's wearing a t-shirt and sweatpants. Yeah. And he probably just got off the plane or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had to usher him through.
Yeah.
But WWE, they wouldn't play around with that shit. They wouldn't do that. He'd be wearing a suit all the time.
Yeah.
And he'd come off like the biggest fucking deal. And people would be like, even people have oh, who's this guy? Their video packages, they'd send some fucking IMAX cameras out to Japan. They'd probably film his wife too, and make it look like, oh my God, we're getting the king of Japan being here in fucking WWE now. AEW trot him out there with a mustard stain on his shirt.
Yeah.
In AEW.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have some good matches.
Some phenomenal matches. Some of the matches.
But we already have that in AEW, man.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Alex Foster here says, who should take over Chaos with Okada gone, or should it just end? Chaos has been around for a very long time. When it was formed by Nakamura. I mean, the answer, of course, is Yano. Have Yano take up the lead of Chaos.
If he turns Chaos into a good guy House of Torture,
that'd be something else. Imagine Ishii in there trying to do some good guy comedy spots, huh?
Yeah. Let's see here.
I don't know, because especially with Chaos, it seems like such a loosely affiliated faction at this juncture. Bullet Club,
barely a faction. Yeah.
Bullet Club. They all do stuff together. LIJ to a degree as well.
Nobody wears Chaos logos.
United Empire, same thing.
They wear United Empire type gear.
Yeah,
they're all together.
No one really wears Chaos shirts now.
Chaos really just sort of feels like it's everybody else.
Yeah.
John in Alistair voice says,
John,
with the new season of The Boys coming out.
Oh, that's exciting.
He says, which singles and tag team wrestlers would you like to see make a cameo in The Boys? The Acclaimed.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know why. I just think they'd fit.
It would be interesting to see Brock. The show is so cartoonishly violent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To have Brock on there smashing somebody's head or something like that would be interesting.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah.
Or Braun Strowman,
Give Brock 6 arms.
Yeah.
I could say that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, Braun Strowman would be good too. Although I say ever since Ever since Braun got rocked by Brock in that match, I just can't.
Oh, you can't take him seriously. Yeah, no. He almost got knocked
really.
out mid-match. Stumbling around a little bit. Patrick Kennedy says, what are each of your top 5 Okada dream matches now that he is out of New Japan? Steve, since you're the E-drone here, you can do 5 WB matches, and I'll do 5 AEW matches.
Okay, yeah. I will go, easily number 1 is Okada Gunther. And that's actually a good case study right there to look at in terms of like how they would treat him. It'd be Gunther plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it would be. Gunther's number 1 on my list. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Gunther, of course, then Ilya as well, because that'd be killer. Oh my God, that'd be so good.
Yeah.
That'd be killer. Obviously Seth, a healed up Seth. I want to see what Seth can do, man. I want to see that guy go.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
What about Orton?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. All these claims that Orton's like one of the best wrestlers. Sure. We'll do that. See what they could do. And then of course he gets smashed by the tribal chief.
Oh, wow.
And look, man, Okada might be the king of Japan, but Roman Reigns is the king of planet Earth. So he's going to stack anybody.
Wow.
He's going to smash him.
So I'm looking here at the AEW roster, and one of the issues is that Okada's wrestled a lot of people already on the AEW roster because most of them were in New Japan.
That's another thing. I know. He's done everybody. He's kind of done everything there is to do in AEW.
I mean, him against Swerve would be really good.
Him against Joe is fine.
Against Joe would be great.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Gosh, who else? I mean, I'd love to see Okada versus Roosh. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be really good. But you got to build a story. Like, what do they even do? Is Roosh injured right now?
No, I don't think so.
What is he doing right now?
I don't know what he's doing.
Has he been on It was a Rampage thing? Is everybody...
Oh, he is. He did. He hurt his hamstring during the Continental Classic. Maybe he's recuperating from that.
Okay, there you go.
Like MJF versus Okada would be really good. Malachi versus Okada would be great.
Yeah, dude. I kind of have no desire to listen to MJF.
Of course, Jeff Jarrett versus Okada. Who doesn't want to see that?
That's number 1 on the list. But I have no desire to see MJF be condescending to Okada and then probably beat him. Bro, I have no desire to see that. I have no desire to see that.
Claudio versus Okada would be good.
It'd be good on Rampage. It's good. In front of 600 people, man. In front of 600. Hey, why not send Okada to Ring of Honor while we're at it?
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. My toxicity's coming out right now. It's leaking all over the place.
Hey,
it's Friday.
Look at you.
It's Friday.
E-drone. The tribalism out of our conversation.
Dude,
Can we
tell
please
me
and
I'm
thank you?
fucking wrong, though. I'm sorry. Tell me I'm wrong. I waited till 43 minutes in the show.
I'll say this.
He'll be another guy there. He'll be another guy there, Larson.
Concern. That's a concern because it's happened in the past with AEW. We don't want it. We don't want that for Okada.
Look what
they
did.
I'll say that there is the more intriguing dream matchups in WWE because he hasn't faced any of them.
I know.
So,
like, dude, they had so many matches between Jay White and Okada, and they were beautiful and they're brilliant. Now they're going to wrestle in front of 600 people on a Rampage, and it's not going to feel like anything special.
It'll be a few more than 600. But
it'll be a mustard stain match, man. Everybody at AEW has mustard stains. I want them to do good. They have the talent to do good, but it's like fucking
great. I know,
man. They do.
They do
make shit mean something, man. You see the fruits of the labor. Joe comes off like he means something. You know.
I know
he does.
There's an intensity and urgency to Joe's work.
Yeah, there is.
That I love. Joe's great. Carson Thrasher says, "What is one of the most abysmal matches you've witnessed live?" Can I say a vast majority of WrestleMania 2000?
Oh, yeah.
There was a couple good matches, but most of the card was not good.
I don't know why we ever had the thought or why one of us didn't put a stop to this one. We went to that Christmas taping of Monday Night Raw.
Oh, that was long. Well, the second one they taped wasn't too bad because they only taped the matches and all the backstage stuff. They did, either earlier the day or whatever. And so it was an abridged edition of Raw. It wasn't like 3 hours plus 3 hours more. I think it was the 3 hour Raw plus another hour and a half of matches.
I feel like we were going for, it's like, hey, let's pay this money to get to go to a Raw show, but we want the most. Like, we want to be there the longest amount of time. Yeah, we want quantity, not quality.
It was basically a 2-for-1 deal, man.
It was. I think the Miracle on 34th Street fight was decent that year.
Yeah,
those are usually pretty good.
Because it was Elias against
Braun, right? Wasn't Elias Braun or something like that?
Maybe. Definitely Elias was in it. 'Cause I remember that made the thumbnail.
Or Elias Cesaro?
I don't think it was Cesaro.
I don't know what it was.
I remember who he's fighting.
What year was that?
It was 2018.
2018.
Right? Yeah. Nikyle here says, so Nick Nemeth's new finisher name for the zigzag is called the Danger Zone.
Yeah, I love that. Lean into it. Lean into the 80s.
Exactly. Speaking of which wrestlers would you have their finisher name changed to these following Kenny Loggins songs?
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Good.
So I'm free. I'm not familiar with that one, but I do know Footloose.
Oh, I love Footloose. Yeah. Have you ever seen? So I think somebody posted on Twitter. It was like the full dance sequence from Footloose where he's in the warehouse.
Yeah.
And just how absurd it is.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell if he's a good dancer because he's running like a lot.
He is.
And he's doing a lot of very, like, I don't know what that style of dance is called.
80s.
Apropos. Yeah. Because it's like flash dance almost. It's like, 80s stripper dancing that he's doing, but he's doing it in a warehouse while he's doing sprints.
So I'd say this. It'd be awesome if someone did an ankle lock and they called it Footloose.
There you go. Boom. Done.
Get it? So Chad Gable, his ankle lock is now Footloose.
That's the one. That's the one right there.
What's some other good 80s songs that could be finishing moves names?
Oh, dude, I think a lot of them. Welcome to the Jungle. Paradise City. Man, what is? Oh,
what about Bad Medicine?
Yeah. Oh, that's good. What about Head Over Heels? Tell me that's not a fucking power bomb.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Or a submission.
Mad World. You know.
Yeah.
I was thinking it now. I'm just on
Shout.
Tears for Fears. Shout. Yeah. Shout. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I found out who the Miracle on 34th Street fight was against.
Huh.
Boom, 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 boom.
Really?
Boom. Yeah, it was Bobby Lashley.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that.
Completely forgot they feuded.
Lashley. Let's see here. We've already talked about that. Oh, here we go. Dave Matushek says, was CMLL getting their first ever 5-star rating from Meltzer today?
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
I heard about that. What other promotion that is not yours should also get said rating in their first try? So no ACW, no We Book Raw. Although I'll be honest with you, WCW and Fun Wrestling, they had some 5-star classics.
They did.
I mean, Interdimension Tension, honestly. Interdimension Tension would have broken the star rating.
Well, I think also that first Butch Bacon top-notch super best match.
Yeah,
where Butch Bacon was kicking out of everything.
Yeah, yeah.
That's 5 stars for sure. What other... Like, I'm sure Impact, I think Joe and Daniels and AJ got 5 stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sure if Vikingo match in AAA has gotten 5 stars.
I would think so. Or if not Vikingo, then at some point in AAA's history.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know.
Has DDT Pro ever had a 5-star match? Oh, maybe if he rated Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega. Their match in 2012. I'd be shocked if I didn't get 5 stars if Dave gave it a star rating.
Did ECW proper ever get any 5-star match?
Dave wasn't ever terribly huge on ECW stuff. Like I think for one of our things, I did a Jerry Lynn RVD match, which you'd think would be just about
like three and a quarter or some shit.
Yeah, it was 3 3/4, I think.
He didn't even give it 4 stars.
Nope.
Oh, that's funny. Let's see here. TRG says, well, this is sort of an interesting take. He says, do you see the wrestling business ever getting to the heights of the Attitude Era? I got some news for you, TRG. they done been past the business of the Attitude Era by quite a multiplier, because right now is
financially speaking, yes, yeah.
Financially speaking, I don't even know. Dude, I have no idea how you would even calculate. So yeah, the Attitude Era, everybody knew who Stone Cold was. Does anybody know Roman Reigns is now? No, not really. That being said, I'll say this over and over again. Media and popular culture is consumed in a completely different way. There is no singular zeitgeist anymore. The one culture does not exist anymore, with very rare exception, incredibly rare exception. Like something happens during the Super Bowl and probably people will be around a water cooler talking about that.
Yep.
Marvel's Infinity War. That's sort of part of what would have been the one culture back in the day, the zeitgeist back in the day.
Yeah.
Beyond that, man, that shit does not exist. Everything is niche, and you can make billions on a niche these days.
Yeah.
So that being said, I don't know how you would measure WWE's reach now globally versus their reach in 98 globally. I honestly don't know what is a bigger reach, and I don't think it's that cut and dry. I really don't.
No, but I mean, there's a way, because, obviously with YouTube and social media being a thing now that wasn't in 98, obviously everybody on their phone has access to not just WWE, but just about any entertainment they want.
Yeah.
In that sense, the potential of a vastly larger reach is definitely there. And I'm sure there's some metrics that exist somewhere in WWE's financial filings that they, will tout number of impressions worldwide, so on and so forth. So in that measure, I mean, the fact that basically brand new technology exists now that didn't exist in 98, which offers opportunity to grow your product. I mean, you could easily make the argument that more people are aware potentially of WWE worldwide now than ever in its history.
I would think that case could be made. Yeah. I just don't think it's as easy as, well, everybody knows who he is and he's on the cover of TV Guide versus whatever it is today.
I think the metrics these days are probably far more nuanced and whatnot, as opposed to, look, he's on magazine covers. Because you're right. This entertainment is ingested in a vastly different way today than it was 25 years ago.
Dude,
I'm telling
you. Go ahead.
ECW had one 5-star match. Guess who it was?
I'm going to guess that it was... was it like a... Was Benoit in the match?
Nope.
Guerrero?
No.
Was an ECW original in the match?
Not as I think you would define ECW original, no.
Was it post 98?
No.
Fuck, I don't know. Who is it?
Juventud Guerrera versus Rey Mysterio Jr.
I was going to ask if Mysterio was in it. Okay. Huh. That's crazy.
And then the next highest is 4 3/4, and that's Mysterio versus Psychosis.
Wow.
Dick Togo has a 4.5-star match in ECW.
Wow.
I've never seen this one. This one is pretty good.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, I remember this match.
Interesting.
So apparently it was the RVD Jerry Lynn match I mentioned is 4 1/4, not 3 3/4. But it wasn't 5 stars. I remember reading it. It's like, this seems low.
3 3/4. 3 3/4 seems it's funnier. Anyways.
Insultingly low, I know.
It's much funnier if that was the case. It's like, oh my God, RVD and Jerry Lynn, 3 3/4 stars. Man. Oh wow, this is Larson. This is an easy one, and I think it's probably the same match for both of us.
All right.
AJ Otani says, "What's your favorite wrestler's worst match? Isn't it DX versus Undertaker and Kane in Saudi Arabia?"
I've never seen it, so I don't know. What's my favorite worst
brother.
Match.
Yeah, that's right. You just said that yesterday.
I've never seen it. I kind of refuse to watch it.
I think it's safe to say that because HBK's your guy, Triple H is my guy.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that is their worst match.
So it's your favorite wrestler's worst match?
Yeah.
I mean, basically everything Sid ever did.
Well,
with
yeah.
A few exceptions.
Yeah. But
Sid's not my favorite
HBK's your guy, though.
Yeah, it's HBK Danielson. Like 1A, 1B for me.
Finding Danielson's worst match might be tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
he probably had some stinkers at WWE because they had some weird gimmick thing attached to it or something like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But these days, no, it's tough.
Yeah.
Kayfabe here says, I'd imagine Okada is going to AEW, but if he's going to WWE, do you think it's possible Triple H worked out a deal for him to show up at the Rumble before his New Japan contract expires in exchange for him completing his other New Japan obligations that run into late February?
Yeah, I think anything's possible, to be honest with you. I would doubt. I think that it would be closer to what you're talking about. With he would show up at Mania.
Mania, yeah.
And they'd have Shinsuke cut some promos because maybe that would be the first thing, and that would blow everybody fucking away because it'd be amazing. Yeah, I think these days anything is possible. I think, with Triple H at the helm, with Tanahashi at the helm over there, arrangements could be made. It would not shock me at all. I think
so. 7 minutes ago, WrestleVotes tweeted, "I'm told the plan as of now is for Seth Rollins to address his health and future as World Heavyweight Champion this Monday night on Raw."
Oh wow, that doesn't sound good.
No, the way that's phrased, it doesn't sound great.
That if that's true, that would be he's vacating that shit.
It would seem like it, yeah.
Unless
there's a swerve they set up for that, and he goes, "I'm not giving this title up.
I'm not fucking leaving."
Exactly. They'll have to rip this title out of my hands.
Yeah. We'll find out if they're working the sheets.
I know.
He's gonna show up and be like, "You guys want some bathtub chocolate?"
Oh my gosh.
You guys want some bathtub chocolate?
Maybe they'll do this. Maybe he'll set it up like he's about to vacate. Drew McIntyre comes out. It's like, all right, just give it to me. It's mine now.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
And Seth says, no, I ain't giving up anything.
It's got to be Drew's at that point, right?
Yeah. If Seth has to vacate, you think Drew wins out walking into Mania? Yeah.
Drew has that title locked.
And then we'll get Drew versus CM Punk at WrestleMania.
Yeah, maybe they'll do a triple threat. You throw a Damian Priest in there.
Maybe.
Anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody.
What if they do this? What if Seth's out there about to vacate and Priest cashes in then?
Oh, shit. You want some bathtub chocolate?
If I call that, then I earned some chocolate.
He's about to vacate and Damian Priest
Damian Priest cashes in.
How are they going to do that, though?
I mean, Seth will walk out there. All he has to do was just take a choke slam.
That's a big deal, though, man.
You don't. I guess you got to jump on a choke slam.
Yeah,
I don't know. He gets hit in the back of the head with a briefcase or something.
Oh, dude, I don't know. You fall to the ground. You can make it even worse. It sort of depends on the nature of the injury, I guess.
It does. It depends on the nature of the injury.
If it's so bad he's got to vacate it, I don't know, man.
But think of that's a more exciting way of having a champ give up the title than just vacating it. Obviously, it depends on the extent of the injury and if there's potential for more damage to occur if he falls wrong.
So bummed out, then you trot Priest out there.
Or Priest tries to cash in and then Drew stops him again.
What if he tries to cash in on Seth Rollins, succeeds in ringing the bell, and then Seth rolls him up? Oh, man. And then he says, "Do you want some bathtub chocolate?" That's going to do it for us, everybody.
Cash those damn chocolates, man.
Till next time, we'll see you around.
Goodbye.